Former South African President Thabo Mbeki is continuing with his meetings in Zimbabwe today.
Yesterday he met President Emmerson Mnangagwa, and today he's expected to meet other stakeholders in the country.
Problems of this country cannot be solved by one party or two parties or three. They can only be solved by all political players. Let all political actors, let every Zimbabwean who is interested in progress here. We deal with economic challenges, we deal with political, electoral reforms that we have to deal with. Those are the issues that we're discussing. So the discussion is all about how best we get out of the situation where every Zimbabwean is involved in a dialogue process. And I must emphasize, for us in Poland, the issue is not about one or two or three parties. It is about everyone who ought to be involved in trying to get solutions.
President Mbeki has been in this process for a long time. You know that we went into conversations before. So he is one person who has issues of Zimbabwe on the tip of his hand. And I think it would be unfair for him to have spent so much time in Zimbabwe and his legacy does not come through. So he is really legitimately a stakeholder in this process, given all the time that he spent. But the second thing is, I think Zimbabwe needs to move away from insulting their SADC regional people, because we don't live in an island. We are part of a community, and his coming here for us is good in that it says SADC is still engaged in the Zimbabwean issue. And SADC will not be engaged in the Zimbabwean issue if SADC does not have a conversation with every one of the stakeholders in here. As you saw, not only has he seen political parties, he has seen the churches, he has seen civic society. He will be continuing to see. In fact, he told us that he's not going back. He's going to be staying for an extra day or 2 days, depending on what comes through. So I think his coming here is important in that he's not a newcomer. So when you say what is new, there's nothing new. He's merely taking over a conversation and continue with the conversation, which he started with at the beginning. And we on our part are excited. We want to see whether he broaden it to the other SADC sitting leaders, whether he does it on his own. But the important thing is today is historic in that SADC is engaging with the Zimbabwean issue.
Right, to help us unpack President Mbeki's visit and what he might be able to do and achieve, I'm now joined on the line by ZANU-PF Spokesperson in South Africa, Mr. Kennedy Mandaza. Thanks so much indeed for joining us. Welcome to the program. What can you tell us about President Mbeki's arrival in Zimbabwe and what he's there to do?
Good afternoon, and good afternoon to the viewers. Ordinarily, President Mbeki has came to meet with President Mnangagwa at the invitation of the President after the three other presidents from South Africa had met him. And obviously, he wanted to understand the progress that the President of Zimbabwe has made so far ever since his inauguration, and what are the challenges that he has been meeting, and also to possibly extend his congratulations to him for the work that he is doing. Because in his briefing, he commended the President on the work that he has done politically and economically to ensure that there is progress in Zimbabwe.
So there is talk that President Mbeki might actually be mediating or trying to bring the various stakeholders together. That's why he's meeting so many. Is there any truth to that?
I think that is mere talk that many people would want to talk about. Our president, the President of Zimbabwe, has been very clear in terms of the dialogue that many people continue to say that needs to be mediated by an outsider or a neutral person. And by opening the dialogue, which is being done through Poland, the President has invited all political actors to be on board. And I think it would not need any mediator to bring on board anyone else, because the invitation is open, has been open for a very long time, and it is the responsibility of those that have not joined the political dialogue to come on board if they have the interests of the people of Zimbabwe at heart.
It's no secret that Zimbabwe is going through very, very difficult times, triple-digit inflation, and many people on the ground say that things are worse now than they were under former President Mugabe. What has been the challenge that has put Zimbabwe in such a difficult position?
Well, even as early as the inauguration of President Mnangagwa, he said that in order for us to turn around the corner and the fortunes of Zimbabwe, that journey is not going to be easy. And through the austerity measures that were put in place, ordinarily people should have expected things to get to a point where they will be difficult. And that's what we have been going through. And we are saying these are the birth pains of a country that is on the verge of improving from where it was. But let me hasten also to say that in the process of trying to make sure that Zimbabwe develops, the economy improves, we still have people that are going around the world calling upon countries that have imposed sanctions not to relax them or remove them. And that is regrettable because as Zimbabweans, we all need to come on deck and push along the development agenda of the country so that the people that we claim we have interested at can have their lives bettered. And we have not been able to see this. And that's the reason why we see quite a number of things not moving in the direction as expected. But we have been promised by the Minister of Finance as well as the President that the period of austerity has come to pass, and we are beginning now to see in the coming year changes in terms of the development agenda of the country.
All right, so the average person on the street, again, will be saying, we hear what you're saying, but the reality is it doesn't feel like a lot has changed. Corruption is one area that was a problem for many years in the country, and some would say that it actually continues because many of the actors are the same. And just to quote my foreign editor here, who spoke to a South African businessman who wanted to do business in Zimbabwe, said that corruption is in the highest offices in the country, and that if you want to understand state capture, go to Zimbabwe.
Admittedly, corruption is rife, and there has been an entrenchment of corruption over a long period of time. And we are confident that the President, having given teeth to that, we would want to see the judiciary and all other actors in terms of stemming out corruption doing their job. And we regret that we still have people among the highest offices as claimed engaged in corruption, because the President and many other Zimbabweans, they are against corruption because it is antithesis to development. And we are hoping that moving into 2020, we will strengthen the work of ZEC and also the judiciary to make sure that whoever is caught on the wrong hand in terms of corruption and any other vices that are against the development agenda are put into jail. But due process has to take place.
All right, so we'll leave it there for the time being. Mr. Mandaza, thanks so much indeed for joining us. That was the ZANU-PF ZANU-PF spokesperson here in South Africa. But he was talking to us from Harare, saying that President Mbeki's visit in Zimbabwe is just that, a visit, visiting the president, but he's not there to do any mediation work or trying to bring stakeholders together. He may meet them to hear from them, but certainly isn't an issue about mediating or trying to bring stakeholders together. That's according to the spokesperson of ZANU-PF.